All right, hello Patriots. Welcome to the first video of my new channel. Today, for the first video, we're going to be highlighting this big dog right here. It's the Baer Premier 2. And this one has the adjustable rear sight. The front sight is just black serrated. So we're just going to jump right into it. So as you can see over here, my carry gun, this is the Springfield Armory TRP. Fantastic gun. I'll do a review and shooting video on that pretty soon. But just wanted to highlight some of the things about this Baer. So this is my first custom 1911. And as with all custom 1911s, there is a lot of hoopla and whatnot surrounding these things. And, you know, my expectations were really, really high when I bought this. I bought it on December 9th, 2018, so about 5 months ago. And one thing that I'm always curious about when somebody has a custom 1911 is, well, one thing I want to know is where did you get it and how much did you pay for it? So I bought this off of Bud's Gun Shop. They had them in stock, so I didn't have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 months to actually put an order in and then take delivery from Baer. And believe it or not, this was $1,814 out the door. I live in Texas, so there was no shipping, or it was free shipping and there's no tax. So I think it was a really, really fantastic price for this gun. Now, getting back to the kind of the mystique and the kind of the build-up for this thing. Took it to the range with the intentions of putting the 500 rounds through it that Baer recommends as the break-in. And I actually put 560 rounds through it. And in the 560 rounds, there were 0 malfunctions with this thing, which I was expecting some malfunctions during the break-in period. But there were 0, none, not even a hint of a malfunction. And I can tell you that the accuracy was really, really good right out of the box, just emptying the first few magazines. And then at around the 300 mark, I don't know the exact number, but all of a sudden it just started shooting like just phenomenal groups. I'm not that good of a pistol shooter, but this thing makes me look almost like an expert. A lot of that, yes, does have to do with the trigger. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, about 300 round mark, it was hard to not put bullets in or near the same hole, which was really, really outstanding, really eye-opening. And the one thing about this gun, I'm not going to really do a comparison, but just real quick, this and the TRP, kind of shooting them side by side, the recoil impulse is smoother, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain unless you actually feel it, but it's I don't know, it's not as jarring. Not that the 45 ACP is a jarring cartridge to shoot. It was just much more controllable, I guess, and definitely just smoother overall. Kind of hard to really explain that. But as you can see, there's the muzzle end. It's kind of dirty. You can see the barrel hood there. It's got a lot of residue, carbon buildup. Over here on the back, we see a little bit more. And this is what 560 rounds looks like. You see a lot of fingerprints and a little bit of oil. You can see some skin right there, probably where where I ride my thumb up here. And one thing also during the break-in, I did keep it running this thing pretty wet with break-free CLP, which is what Baer recommends. And let's go ahead and do a quick safety check here. So I am running the all these are Wilson Combat, the Elite Tactical magazines, and I think there's 6 8-rounders and two 10-rounders. And again, no malfunctions, and all of these magazines worked really just fantastic. So let's go ahead and open this guy up and take out the magazine. Let's see, nothing in there. Okay, nothing in the mag well, and the chamber is empty. So we are safe. All right. The safety on this, of course, it's on both sides. When I first got it, it was almost impossible to engage. It was really, really stiff, but you know, at the range and well, anywhere, you know, load this thing up and boom, immediately goes on safe. Obviously, when we're ready to shoot, goes off safe. And now it's that's nice and broken in. So I'm not sure how many rounds it took. Wasn't really paying attention to that. Not like I was the accuracy. The finish is, of course, blue. Really beautiful, beautiful finish. It's matte here up on top. And let's see if I can get this. The sights. So this isn't my carry gun. This is just like just a have type gun. So I actually prefer these sights. The adjustable in the rear that's serrated, and just the front post that's serrated, and it's obviously black on black. Now my carry gun, the TRP, it of course has night sights, comes with night sights, but for target shooting, I prefer these sights, and they're really, really outstanding, really crisp sight picture, and I like that it's adjustable. And as a side note, the ammo I used was that Remington UMC 230 grain hardball, and also the CCI Blazer brass hardball. And this thing just loved that Blazer brass ammo. Again, 230 hardball. Really, really outstanding accuracy. And like I said, around the 300 mark is when it improved. I mean, it was noticeable. Not that it was, you know, spraying the target, you know, before those 300 rounds. But this definitely exceeded all of my expectations during those 560 rounds. And it has these, the checkering, so it's 30 lines per inch. One thing that's, again, don't really want to do a comparison, but one thing about this compared to the TRP, and also I've got a Kimber that's not pictured here. Going from transition to the grip to the front strap, it's nice and smooth, if you can see that. There's, on the TRP and the Kimber, there's like a valley right there, and then the grip comes up. And as soon as you put this thing in your hand, it's immediately noticeable that it's just, there is no transition there as far as a step. Where if I'm explaining that right, where this is a little narrower and this is a little taller. With this, it's nice and blended, and it's very, very, very comfortable. That, along with the with this high ride safety here, I mean, you can get a really, really high grip on this thing. Really, really high grip. And one thing that obviously it's contributing to the accuracy. Now we've got a snap cap in here. All right, so the trigger. We all know about 1911 triggers, especially custom 1911 triggers. And this one breaks at 3.75 pounds every single time. And let me see if I can, let me do this right-handed. So if you can see here, and it is pointed in a safe direction, and we do have a snap cap in there. Very, very short travel, as expected. And like I said, 3.75 pounds on the pull. So really, really outstanding. And like I said, it's very hard to miss with this thing. And the furthest distance I shot was 15 yards. Started at 7, worked out to 15, and then kind of alternated back and forth between 7 and 15 yards. And just, like I said, outstanding. Exceeded all of my expectations. And it really, you can really see the difference as far as price goes. Again, I can do a comparison video if you guys want to do a like a side-by-side comparison of these two. But this one is just, you can tell it's just very well put together. Not that this one isn't. This is a fantastic pistol in its own right, but golly, you put this thing in your hands after this, and it's just totally, totally different. And you'll see immediately what your extra, whatever it was, $1,000, $800, whatever the difference is in these two, that money was very, very well spent. What else can I tell you guys about this thing? Let's take this magazine out. And I'm going to break this thing down. So according to Les Baer, within the first 500 rounds, like if you go to the range and shoot 200, and then next week you shoot 100, and then the next week after that you shoot another 200, you're not supposed to break it down during the break-in period. So obviously I went out and in one day did 560 rounds, but I was waiting to shoot this video before I actually broke it down. So let's break this thing down and see what the internals look like. Okay, yeah, this sucker is tight. That took a little bit longer than expected. Definitely, everything is definitely hand fitted and very, very tight. All right, first thing, we'll look at the frame here. See some of the residue right there. See some more right here. Really beautiful wear right here. Really, really nice. Look at the other side. Nice wear right there. And like I said, this thing is dirty. That's, again, guys, that is 560 rounds worth of just gunk on this thing. That's the frame. And then the this thing right here, wow. This thing is on there tight, very, very tight. And I know that's one of the things that will contribute to the accuracy of the pistol, how the barrel bushing is fit. And this sucker is tight. Man, it took a little while to get that thing out of the slide. The plug, or the plug. And we've got this spring action going here. Spring again looks good. 560 rounds. Got the slide stop right there. This thing was really tight too inside that barrel link, so that took a little bit of tapping to get that out. Again, very, very tight fit. And now we have the barrel, so you can see the way it's wearing up there off of the bushing. Looks like really, really even wear. Look at that, how that line stops right there, and on this side it stops right there. Yeah, very, very nice wear. There's the lugs, the hood, the link. Again, you can see how dirty this thing is. I mean, it's just got COP and gunk just all over it. Let's look down. I don't know if we can get a good angle on that. Barrel obviously is dirty, 560 rounds dirty. So we're gonna get this thing all cleaned up and prettied up, and then we'll put it back together. So give me just a second. All right, guys, there she is, back from the stay at the spa, looking all nice and pretty and shiny and clean and just ready to go for another who knows how many thousands of rounds. So really, really nice finish on this thing. So just some final thoughts. This is definitely the most money I've ever spent on not a rifle. I've got some kind of high dollar rifles. Definitely the most money I've ever spent on a handgun. Definitely worth it. And actually at $1,814, I'm actually considering this a bargain. It's like I said, it's very, very smooth shooting. extremely accurate. It's one of those things where, yeah, it's going to be a lot more accurate than I am. Again, this thing made me look like a superstar. And a lot of it, yeah, is the hand fitting and just the overall tightness of everything, the barrel to the bushing to the slide, the lugs and the barrel to the slide, and of course that trigger. I mean, 1911 trigger is a tuned trigger, custom trigger is just, man, it's just hard. Well, you can't beat it. And as we progress, you know, with the channel, you'll see I own M&Ps and I own Glocks and I own XDM and some other handguns as well, and a bunch of rifles. So you'll see all those on the channel, and I am on Instagram. So check me out there. One in the Chamber 1911 is my Instagram handle, and you can see some of the other firearms that I own. And I'll do long range stuff. You know, I'll do 1,000-yard stuff. I'm not a tactical guy. I'm not qualified to do any of that stuff. I do practice. You know, I do. Well, in Texas, it's licensed to carry. I do have a LTC, so I do practice as often as I can. You know, at closer range, at the 3, 7, 15 yards. But I'm pretty handy with one of these things. I can definitely do you know, a self-defense type accuracy without any problem. And like I said, final thoughts. This thing is absolutely worth every penny. All of the hype and all of the kind of preconceived things that I had in my mind about this thing were all true, and then some. Definitely exceeded my expectations. And, you know, I know there's Ed Brown out there, there's Wilson Combat, there's Nighthawk, and probably a bunch of other ones. There's a few things that that kind of made me decide on Baer as opposed to those other brands, which everything that I've ever seen and read, for the most part, you know, those brands are all outstanding. And I'm sure I would not have been disappointed with any of those brands. But the one thing about the Baer is I know that, and again, I can't speak from experience. I can only go by what I've read and the videos that I've seen. But I know that there are times, I wouldn't say a lot of times, but you know, comments that I see that when you call up Baer, the company, a lot of times Baer, the man, answers, which really says something about the company. And I know that, again, just reading things on forums and seeing things in videos, I know that they do stand behind their product. Again, I know all the other guys do, and they should. You know, if you're charging $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a 1911, you better stand behind that, because if you don't, you're probably not going to be in business for very long. The other thing that really drew me to Baer is what I consider to be a pretty high value item. Again, this was $1,814. I'm going to say that over and over and over again. And that kind of, with those other names that I mentioned in the custom 1911 field, this is probably low end as far as price goes. So that's the other thing that drew me to this. You know, I wanted to kind of get my feet wet with a custom 1911. And like I said, I am just beside myself with this thing. It is extremely, extremely accurate. Again, 560 rounds, 0 malfunctions, not even the hint of a malfunction. Very, very impressed. The recoil impulse is so smooth and so controllable. Trigger, of course, the trigger's fantastic. It's going to be fantastic on a custom 1911. The checkering, again, I'm not trying to do a comparison. The TRP has 20 lines per inch. This one has 30. I like the 20 because it is really, really abrasive. I wasn't quite sure that I was going to like the 30. I mean, I felt it, but it's different handling something in a gun store as opposed to actually on the range and shooting, you know, 400, 500, 600 rounds. I really like this 30 lines per inch more than the 20. It just, it's not abrasive, but at the same time, it's pretty much stuck to your hand. And well, the other thing I didn't mention, again, this is custom 1911. It's got the high cut right here on the frame. And as far as, you know, doing stuff to this, there doesn't need to be anything done to it. The only thing I'm going to switch out, and it's really cosmetic, is I'm going to get a pair of custom grips for it. Nothing crazy looking or outlandish. I'm sure it's going to be wood. It's just going to be, I want something a little bit lighter. Again, that's you know, that's just cosmetic. These grips are a little bit dark. They do have some really nice diamond cut checkering on them, and it's kind of a pretty sharp, so it definitely stays in your hand. So I'll be looking for something similar to that. Again, just something in a little bit lighter wood, kind of set it off against the bluing. And again, the mags, you know, Wilson Combat Elite Tacticals. This is probably what everybody uses. Kind of seems to be the world standard for magazines. And again, they all function flawlessly, just like the pistol did. Again, can't say enough good things about this pistol. I am really happy with it. Definitely exceeded my expectations. And in the upcoming videos, you'll see me actually shooting this thing, so you guys can actually see the accuracy in real time. And again, the furthest that I will shoot is 15 yards, so I'll be at 7 and 15 yards. And at some point, I will do a kind of side-by-side comparison with the TRP. So hopefully that'll be a video that'll be useful to some of you guys. Because this is obviously, you know, a custom 1911, and this one is touted as a semi-custom 1911. And in a lot of circles, it's considered one of the better or one of the best semi-custom 1911s. And that's a fantastic pistol. I really can't say anything negative about that. In fact, it's so fantastic that this is actually what I would bet my life on if it ever came to that. Hopefully I and none of you guys will ever be in that situation, but if I ever am, this is it. This is the one that's going to get the nod. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, leave those down below. And again, I am on Instagram. One in the Chamber 1911 is my handle, and you can see a lot of my other guns featured on there. I got some long-range rigs, some shotguns, lots of handguns, and you'll see more video reviews coming up. Not just tabletop here, but actually at the range and shooting. And Les Baer, my hat is off to you guys. This is a fantastic pistol. It's everything that it should have been, plus a whole lot more. Really happy with it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.